The learning is Nishmas Etta Ahuva by Yaakov. Kesubos Perik Gimel Mishna Test. We're up to the final and seventh memra of Admon. Shnayim Shahitzi Shtar Choiv Zeh El Zeh. Ruvain tells Shimon that you owe me money, and Shimon tells Ruvain that you owe me money. Admon Omer Ilu Hayisi Chayiv Lach Ketzad Atalav Mimeni. Very similar to the last Mishnah. The one that borrowed the money first could say, obviously, I didn't borrow money from you, because if I had, why would you borrow money from me afterwards? Instead of me lending you money, you should have just taken the money from me because I owed it to you. So it must be I never borrowed the money first. No, each one has a right to be goyve their shtar choiv. Gemara makes and Ukimten says that if it was the zman piroin of the first shtar, it was mata zman, it was the zman for him to pay him back, then what would be the reason of the chachamim? Then admin for sure has a good taina. Ilo yisi chayiv lach, if I was chayiv the money, ketzat loving many, why are you borrowing from me? And if it wasn't the zman of the piroin, then admin's taina is not a good taina. So the Gemara says that it's talking about that it was exactly that day that the money was owed, and the machlekes is, do people pay back that day or not that day? Mishna Yud, Shalish Haratzos L'Nisuin. There are three different lands in Eretz Yisrael. L'gabi Nisuin. The Hainu, the halacha is that a person marries a lady in one of these places. He can't force her to move from that land to another land. What are the three different lands? Yehuda, Evar Yarden, Hagolo. A person can't force his wife to move from the city to the city, and not from the big city to another big city. But in that land, then you could move from one city to another city, and from one big city to another big city. Within Yehuda and within Evaria and then within Galil, then you could move if it's the same type of city. It's ear le'ir or krach le'krach. A krach is bigger than a ear. Avaloi mi'ir le'krach, valoi mi'krach le'ir. But you can't switch from a big city to a small city, because a krach has an advantage because everything is available over there. Valoi mi'ir le'krach, because some people find the big cities harder to live in because the houses are very close together and there's not so much air. The Mishnah continues, Maitziyah meinava hara meinava hayafa. You could move from a bad neighborhood to a good neighborhood, but not from a good neighborhood to a worse neighborhood. You can't even move to a good city because the good neighborhood is sometimes causes the guf to get sick, because changes even for the good will cause issues to your stomach, to the will cause choyle me'ayim. Taisus just speaks out that this is talking about when the beginning of the Mishnah we said that you can't move from Yehuda to Galil or to Ever HaYarden. Those three different neighborhoods, the different sections, is talking about when they were both from Yehuda, so then you can't move to Galil. But if originally they made up that they're going to move to the other place, then Avada, they made up like that. The Erison was in a different town then, and they made up they're going to live in that other town, then Avada, they could live in that other town.